Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming to talk about One Piece, chapter 997. Aw, three more chapters and then we're at chapter 1000. The birds are excited. But yeah, chapter 997. Anyway, this is a chapter where Zoro is badass. And this is a chapter where unfortunately Sanji is not as badass because Sanji's off doing Sanji. Can you imagine we're in a war and Sanji's out fooling around? It's just unfortunate, man. Like, for those that don't know, Sanji's like my second favorite Straw Hat after Brook. I like Dapper Gentleman. Sanji has had a pretty cool outfit for a very long time. I like Sanji. I want Sanji to be great, but he's not. Not now. Not the way that Oda uses him. I'm sad, but I do think there's still hope. It's just like it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But anyway, let's start talking about Zoro because Zoro is the one that has a pretty great moment here. You know, when I see this chapter and I'm seeing Zoro take down Apoo, it's like, yeah, great. Zoro just like pretty much almost one-shot at Apoo. Apoo might still stand back up. Honestly, it's still a skirmish. Apoo isn't fully defeated. Well, I don't know. Usually, it's hard to say whether or not someone's fully defeated in One Piece. But if Apoo might stand back up. But for now, it's like great. You know, seeing Zoro do that. One thing I do feel is I think realistically, for every future battle, I think it'd be good to have Zoro mad. I think it'd be good if Zoro becomes one of those permanently mad people, because to some degree, it is a little bit silly that Zoro could or you know, he could significantly deter Apoo by using one sword style just by doing one named attack. It's when you see that he can do that, just all he needs is the good motivation. It's like, I wish Zoro was at this state all the time because we'd get through it. It's really hard to quantify too, but you know, as a fan, that's one of the big things I'm ultimately feeling here. I do think it's really interesting that thematically Zoro is still the Straw Hat that hasn't been pushed to his limits, and to this day I'm still waiting to see Zoro's limits. It's so interesting that Sanji and Luffy have been pushed to their limits such that they're getting upgrades. You know, Sanji with his Vinsmoke stuff and Luffy with Gear 4th and everything beyond that. And then you have Zoro, who's just having a regular day. He's just doing stuff. Just he has the luxury to choose to use one sword to take someone down when he gets a little bit upset. You know, he hasn't used Azura. Sanji and Luffy both have used their Enies Lobby's power-ups, but Zoro, we have no idea, and it's just so interesting that this is still the case. The man isn't being pushed, and it's probably also because of the lack of quality enemies, but it's just unfortunate. When I see Zoro taking Apoo down just when he decides to, it's like, I wish One Piece was a series where we could quantify why it is that characters aren't doing their best from the get-go. Because that's ultimately what you see here. When you see the way that Zoro takes down Apoo, it's like, you're not doing your best. You were in a situation where you had the freedom to look into the sky, see a hand falling. You had the freedom to slash a guy that came to attack you. You had the freedom to just stay back, to pull out your sword while Drake attacked the other person. You know, you had the freedom to be able to attack Apoo while being careful of Drake. And it's like, you have all those freedoms. It means you're really powerful. Why are the characters not putting in 110% when in this case he's not even putting in 100%? It's one sword. He's not putting in 100%. That's what I'm ultimately feeling. But the issue is that the characters won't use 110% unless Oda needs them to. Or they won't even use 100% unless Oda needs them to. A good chunk of One Piece requires the characters being a little bit incompetent. Wait, let me think about that. No, a good chunk of One Piece relies on the characters having to run to get to where they are. That's how Oda draws out conflicts, is by preventing them from getting to where they need to go quickly. And you can kind of see this whenever you're in One Piece and you're running around. That's what Oda's doing. He needs to delay things like that. But it's unfortunate. I hope Zoro stays serious for the rest of it, because it's great to see Queen have that moment where he freaks out because Zoro just preempted him. I wish Zoro could preempt everyone. But now it looks like Marco's there, and it looks like they're going to be going up, but it's just unfortunate. At the end of the day, the Straw Hat's power outputs, for the ones that are actually capable to do things, those power outputs are going to be dictated by how quickly Oda needs a situation to progress, which is just, again, it just feels a little bit unfortunate. That said, I made that stipulation because if you're dealing with the low-level Straw Hats like Usopp and Nami, their limit is so easily defined that really you could push them to their limits, because them at their limit is like, what, 1/8 of whatever Zoro's limit is, you know, like, so they're easier to work with. But when you have Zoro, Luffy, and Sanji, that could legitimately, they can break the game. They easily break the game because they have incredible capabilities, right? Sanji and Luffy can fly. Zoro can send flying slashes. These three by themselves will break the game, so Oda always needs to keep them under control. Otherwise, the whole plot will just go by faster. But it's unfortunate that's the case that we're in. Anyway, that's my bit for Zoro. I hope he keeps being powerful. It'd be really cool if Zoro ends up there first and goes up against Kaido first, and then everyone else comes in. That'd be really cool. Also, I'm thinking, you know what? If Zoro wants to take on Kaido, I think it'd be really cool to give Luffy Big Mom. I think that'd be interesting. I mean, it's more appropriate if Luffy's there to fight Kaido as well, but, you know, at this point, I'd be really open to irregular matchups. Honestly, I think that'd be really cool. So the next part I really want to talk about is Sanji. I have a few little notes here too. Now, Sanji goes in and he runs into the whole situation with the brothel ladies and all that. Sanji gets tricked. One thing, because I see people always saying that observation haki is very inconsistent, and it's like, yeah, observation haki is one of those powers that breaks the game as well. So because it's a game breaker, Oda has to be very careful when he uses it. Otherwise, plot tension is destroyed. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think observation haki is inconsistent in his application? Anyway, with Sanji here, he gets caught in webs. I'm very interested to know who has the webs fruit. And he's attacked by a honey trap, pretty much. Now, I did think it was interesting that Sanji got attacked with kicks. It's interesting that there are people that are using kicks in this area. But anyway, Sanji is surrounded by many, many women. Now, I feel bad for Sanji, but Sanji is saying here that he is going to overlook this, so it sounds like Sanji is still a man of power. I really hope he is. We also get another thing where Black Maria is saying that she likes foul-mouthed boys like Sanji, and you know, it looks really cool. It makes me feel good. Sanji mentions that he's love-struck, and all of a sudden we get a Kia. There are hearts on that panel. So what I'm thinking is, if I'm gonna really enjoy it if Sanji follows tradition, and given Dressrosa and given Big Mom's arc, it would be great if Sanji somehow manages to seduce everyone here. I know it's a little bit unreasonable, but I would really, really love it if Sanji is able to seduce everyone here. It looks like we're in a good spot already because someone's got a heart. But if Sanji managed to seduce everyone, again, I'd be okay with it. If that's what we're leading, where we're going, I'd be okay with it. Now, after that, let's see, any other parts here? Yeah, you know, there was like the Luffy and Jimbei's portions. And it was kind of funny that Oda's realized the joke, or Oda's made a joke out of all these smile users. With Luffy going up the samurai's ladder. I thought that was actually a really good use of the samurai. I really enjoyed that. Yes, thank you. The samurai are being very useful in general, but seeing them actually just make a ladder for Luffy, that was wonderful. Legitimately a nice touch to this chapter. It made me appreciate them a little bit more. And with with Luffy and Jimbei, I do want to say, seeing the two of them together, it actually feels really good. Like when Luffy's asking him, like, hey, where did Sanji go? It's like, I don't know. He was really pissed off, though. And then when Luffy's like, hey, is that an earthquake? And Jinbei's like, oh, it's a weird island. It's so neat to see the captain and essentially an advisor. It's so neat to see that interplay. I love it, man. Like, I didn't realize how much I wanted this, but now that we have it, it's just great. I hope Jimbei lives forever. Ever. I'm still curious. I'm still curious about some stuff that Oda said about Jimbei a long time ago. But whatever. I'm happy, man. I'm happy. It's one of the happiest things. It's cool to see the two together. I really hope Jimbei gets to the battle along with Luffy, because it'd be interesting to see Jimbei going up against Kaido. Very interesting. Now, any other parts? Well, the other chunk of the chapter really belongs to Chopper and Brook. I think Chopper and Brook were doing great. It was cool to see Brook using the fire to help Chopper, and it was cool to see Chopper getting the antibodies, and also already, before getting the antibodies, knowing how to make everything better. And I like that he was gonna save enemies. Now, you know, right now, if Chopper does save enemies, we have two characters who have the potential to turn people onto their side, right? We have Chopper, who might be able to win some people over out of kindness, and we have Otama, who will flat out just take the Smile users just because of her power, mind control. So I'm very excited. I'd actually be very excited to see if there is a full turnaround for a good chunk of the Kaido forces. Now let's see, I already mentioned Marco. There was a whole bit where people thought that Zoro was using Haki. So one thing I will say there is that Zoro said it's obviously not him. And Brook was asking about Conqueror's Haki. It really, I think it was Brook asking. That feels to me right now like Zoro is saying that he doesn't have Conqueror's Haki. Because if that was possible, I don't think he would say obviously not him. But I feel like Zoro's going to get Conquerors by the end of the series. It's just a matter of when he gets it. Because Rayleigh has it, so I feel like that's a safe assumption. Any other points? Oh yeah, by the end of it, we have the situation with the fire clouds, and it's nice to know that they're called fire clouds, or at least One Piece calls it. I don't know if that's actually part of the Japanese mythos, but still, really cool to get that, and cool to see that Kaido is going to be moving the place. I think he's going to be moving it. Maybe it's going to be going towards Wano Kuni. Anyway, he lifted it into the ground. I am kind of interested in knowing whether or not making those fire clouds actually weakens Kaido a little bit, like in terms of focus. Like, does he need to focus to be able to do that? It'd be interesting if he just drops Onigashima back into the water and maybe it's a situation where he's gonna watch if it he's gonna watch for it to just sink, maybe. Now, there is something interesting here in what Yamato says, in that Yamato says dragons, they can generate flame clouds. That feels like a general statement, and it doesn't feel like a specific statement. And that makes sense because like Wano Kuni has had dragons in the past, so if Yamato just knows general Wano Kuni lore, they would know about the flame clouds, right? That makes sense to me. But this is one of those lines that makes me again wonder if Kaido is just a dragon that ate a mythical human fruit or something like that. Much like how Sengoku ate the Buddha fruit. I'm still wondering, because Kaido is a dragon and he has Oni iconography. It's just very interesting. Kaido might be an Oni that ate a dragon fruit. It's honestly hard to tell. I do think Kaido is a Wano native though, because he refers to Haki as Ryo. If he was someone who came from outside, he wouldn't be calling Haki Ryo. But then again, he's been there for years. He might have just adopted the terminology. No, it's really interesting overall. Now, what's going to happen next year, right? I have no idea. What is Marco going to do? Is he going to play a distraction for everyone to get there, or is he going to fly Robin and Zoro up into the ceiling? Now, Robin can fly, right? I forget. But Robin can probably make a way for Zoro to get up there. Like if Robin just makes giant hands, Zoro can get up there just fine. And then Marco can play defense. Now, the only thing is like King and Queen are both the problems, and I think Marco could potentially distract both of them for a short period of time. Him being there is a good sign. So as we go into the future, it's like I'm hoping for Sanji to actually pull out a win. Even if it means him seducing people, sure. I'm hoping that Zoro is going to be able to get to the ceiling or to the roof. I do hope that Zoro is the first one there. And yeah, man, like all good stuff. Like Luffy's up at the 4th one, right? He climbed the ladder into the 4th area, right? I think Onigashima only has 4 floors. Let me just very quickly check. Oh, never mind. It has 5 floors. Oh, that's a lot. Ugh, so much. Okay, anyway. Yeah, great stuff. That's it for me, though. That was a chapter of One Piece. Exciting. Again, I want to see just angry Zoro all the time. Guys, let me know what you thought down below. Until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.